Good morning, everyone. See, I got on here just a minute early because I'm still a little concerned about this light. I'm afraid when excuse me, I'm afraid when I have that light shining down this way onto our work table, it makes like little flickering marks on the camera. Guess that's okay. But when I turn it away, I'm afraid that the work surface is too dark. I don't want it to be too dark. So, how's everybody doing? I'm Diane. Thanks for stopping by this morning. If you're new to my videos, welcome. I hope you get some inspiration today, as I did for our card today. So I think before we get started, I just want to let you all know about this wonderful special through the month of November from Stampin' Up, where the starter kit is usually $99, and yes, my printer is running out of ink, so my colors are all excuse me, all warped. Joining my team now through the month of November is only $75. This is pretty awesome. You get $125 worth of product for $75. And so if you have considered becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, or you were one and you would like to do that again, please contact me, Diane at bohostamper.com, and I will help you get signed up and get your starter kit. And I'll give you a sneak peek. I didn't think we were supposed to share any of the new stuff yet, but I have seen people doing demos with this new stamp set already, and this is going to be out of the 2022 annual catalog called In the Moment. And so if you join the Stampin' Up! Team now during this special, this is one of the stamp sets that you could pick to put in your starter kit. Yeah, so I guess since we can share that, we can't share the things out of our on-stage package. This week is Stampin' Up's on-stage event, and it's kind of an exciting. Unfortunately, it's on stage at home again, so it will all be virtual. But it's really a great time for demonstrators. It's a recognition event as well as an introduction to a lot of the new products that will be coming out in the new catalog, and great ideas on how to use them. We have breakout sessions where we get to make projects. So if you either can sign up to get the swag bag delivered to you, which includes a stamp set, and goodness, what all did we get? Stamp set and well, the swag bag was treats. So we got this really cool notebook and our annual pins and pencils and a bag and stuff. But anyways, and you can order the new stamp set that we're going to use. And so we got a stamp set and dies and designer series paper, and so we'll get to make some projects with that. I can't wait to share them. And I'm pretty sure that we'll be doing some stuff with the new Eden's Garden as well, since that's coming out in the new annual catalog at the first of the year. And so if you have shopped with me in the past year or attended any of my workshops or anything, your name is on a list to automatically receive the new catalog. If you have not shopped with me in this past year or participated in any events and you want a catalog, you're going to have to get in touch with me because your name is not on the mailing list any longer. So, and I need to go in and get those ready, because I'm just gonna do my mailing selector through Stampin' Up! This year because there's too much stuff going on right now. So rather than me printing out all the labels and mailing them, I'm going to take advantage of the Stampin' Up's program. Yeah, so today we're going to use Snowflake Wishes. And I saw a card by Natalie Hunter. She shared on one of the demonstrator websites, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted to make that card, so I asked if she minded if I cased her card, and she did not, which is great because, you know, crafters like to share, and actually when people have ever asked to case mine, I feel pretty complimented. I'm kind of humbled that they thought my card was nice enough to copy and share. Ours is going to be a little bit different because Natalie actually made, excuse me, a square card, and we are going to make our regular size of a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card today. I was excited to see it because Snowflake Wishes is one of the stamp sets and die sets that I had on my table for our Christmas card workshops. If you're looking to make Christmas cards, I do have a workshop set up, and the information is on my bohostamper.com website. Just hop on over there, take a peek, get a hold of me, and we can schedule you or you and some friends and make a few Christmas cards. And this will be one of the sets we use. So Natalie's instructions for her card, she used a 4 by 5 1/4 inch, well, hers was square, so I'm adapting here, 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel for on the front of her card, and hers was embossed with Dainty Diamonds. When I looked in the catalog, I see that Dainty Diamonds is not in the current catalog. And so, when we first got Snowflake Wishes, which also included some really cool paper, and this is what I wanted to use for my my workshop this year, because aren't these colors really just amazing? These papers were great. Beautiful, beautiful papers. And so the colors in the DSP are the colors that Natalie used for her card, so I was kind of excited because they're pretty. But we also had available to us back then Winter Snow embossing folder. And this is not available, but there is a wintry 3D embossing folder in the catalog. I don't know if you can see, it's got little snowflakes on it. But this is a mini one, so this is for the mini embossing machine. But I think a lot of these other ones would work just as nice. The painted texture 3D would probably look like a snowstorm in the background. And this is a mini also, I was going to say that one. And the bark 3D one I think would be pretty in this. So any of those that you have, or if you happen to have a snowflake embossing folder, I actually did the Dainty Diamonds, and I did do the snowflake one, and obviously I haven't cut that one down yet. So I can see which one I prefer on my card. The other odd thing that kind of, it's odd for me because I don't usually use white, basic white as my card base, but Natalie's card is pretty much white, and I don't know if that's what caught my attention, and I really liked it. So I do have a basic white card base, but I also got a Highland Heather card base ready, just in case I want to change it up a little bit. I have a feeling I'm going to use my snowflake background. And then, if you have some basic shape dies, you'll use your small square stitched die and cut 9 little basic white squares. Excuse me, I am just really stuffy today. And I have to apologize for not getting my reminder out there to you any earlier, and I'll tell you about my busy weekend. So I already cut out a bunch of these. I'll review with you just in case you're not sure how to die cut. So this is the baby cut and emboss machine. since I'm only going to do one here to share with you, I can use my baby machine. And we're going to lay the die with the raised side down on the paper. We have a platform. All of the die cutting and embossing machines would have a platform to lay your plates on. The platforms usually tell you what layers to use for your plates. So whether you're die cutting or embossing, your layers will be different. So I'm going to sandwich my die on my paper in between the two plates and run it through my die cutting machine. And we have our little die cut square. And the basic shapes also add some stitching around it. Just a little added detail there that makes it a bit special. Okay, so let me stick this little guy back in here so I don't lose him, because that was a small die. And we can put Baby Boss away for right now. Yeah, so I cut those all out so you didn't have to watch me sit here and cut them, as well as the snowflakes. I do have the snowflakes cut out. So before we cut our snowflakes, we had to make some paper to cut the snowflakes. Some color paper. Are my colors showing up on there? So Natalie used Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, Misty Moonlight, and Bermuda Bay. Now see, that light's not even picking up any of the color. There, you could see it a little bit better that way. And at first I was thinking Bermuda Bay, that's going to be kind of weird, but you know, snowflakes have different colors in them. There it is. And so I did do a blended background, and I kept all my brushes out here so that I could just quickly review with you on how we do our background. I like to start with my lightest color first. In this case, that would be Highland Heather. And I'm using a blending brush. Getting some of the ink on my blending brush, and then starting off of my paper on a piece of scrap paper, I blend the ink onto the panel that we're going to be using. Continued on with the next colors. I went into Gorgeous Grape, added some of that, which is a darker purple. It's not going to take too much, and even though it looks like you don't have a whole lot on your paper, there is color there. And if it looks a little splotchy to you, it's fine. As the ink dries and absorbs into the paper, whoops, I wanted to do Bermuda Bay next. It will smooth out and make a really pretty, soft, smooth background. So I'm going to take a little Bermuda Bay, same thing, blending some of that in. A couple different areas on my basic white scrap here. And then add a little Misty Moonlight to get some blue in there. I said that I had this stamp set and dies out for my Christmas cards that we're going to do at the workshop. And I was a little torn because that paper that we got with this, I have quite a bit of it, and I was thinking I could share that and use it during our Christmas cards. My ink's not snapping shut. There we go. I'm going to make sure that you hear that snap so that your cases are closed tightly and your ink won't dry up inside. And I can set my inks aside for a moment. But anyways, I sort of also wanted to do a vintagey looking card because I like those colors, and you know, snowflake cards don't always have to be the purples and blues and such. They could be pink, teal, right? colors like that. And so I'm working on a pink one over here for my workshop. Okay, then we take the So Many Snowflake dies, and I had the smallest snowflake die out of there, and this paper's still kind of big, so I have to use my big cut and emboss. That's going to take up an awful lot of space here, so I apologize. We're going to shake the camera a bit. Yeah, so I have some old vintage cards, you know, and actually there are not a lot of Christmas cards. Most of them are wedding cards and things. And I have those because I like to look at the style of them and the colors, so that if I'm trying to make a vintagey looking card, I can compare my colors to it and try to get them a little bit, I don't want to say accurate, because I'm not really trying to copy those colors, but I'm trying to get them in the style of that. For example, this is the pink that I'm trying to make for my snowflake cards. So I've been playing around with inks and stamping off and trying, and I think I found the pink that I want to use. So when we do have those workshops, I do put a little bit of time and thought into my cards for those customers, and I don't share those on these videos, because I just think that if somebody's paying to come to a workshop and make cards, I don't want to make that same design available to everybody. There's other stuff out there we can do. Okay. So I cut 9 little squares. I cut 9 small snowflakes, and each snowflake is going to be a little bit different because of the ink that we blended on our basic white paper. And I'll keep this so I can cut more snowflakes out. We have our embossed background and a card base. And that card base is still being considered, along with a Highland Heather card base. I don't know which one I want to use. And so, as I said, Natalie made her card into a square, lining up 9 rectangles, or 9 squares on the card front, and then her card actually, this is hard lining it up when my cards flop and my card base is flopping it up in the air. But I really want to see this on the Highland Heather before we start gluing things down. I guess I could use my tweezers to lay these down. That would be easier, maybe, instead of getting my fingers in the way. Yeah, so I very much like vintage designs, and I think that's why I tend to keep a lot of my old stamps. I love all those old designs. One of my favorite Christmas cards, which I didn't really get to do last year because I found the stamp set late in the season. I had to go to that bad place and search for it because it was an old retired Stampin' Up! Set. But I had seen it, and I knew I wanted it. And so yes, I paid the outrageous eBay prices to get it. But I love it. Actually, I have it on the shelf right behind me because it's always been one of my favorites. So Natalie's card had her 9 squares. Is that even showing up? It is not. How can I do this? You guys can't see the white on white. turn the light off altogether and see what happens. Nothing. You still can't see the white on white. Okay. Well, you'll be able to see it in a minute. So anyways, then we're going to use our little snowflakes that we made and add a snowflake to each square, which we'll do before we adhere those to our... Oh, I know. I got to close the curtain. There's a glare coming in. Daylight savings time. That's why I still have that bit of morning sun. Any better? No, not at all. Okay, so that didn't help much. Yeah, it is brighter coming in that back window. I forget that that happens every year. So we had this weekend I had a grand dog sit. Not really a problem because I love my grand dogs. But they do need attention, so there was not going to be any craft time. Not up here. I did some slow stitching while they were here. Oh, that reminds me, I didn't change my clock up here, so I have no idea. Well, just an hour, right? Let's see if I can't cut some of this glare so you can see. It's not going to be any fun if you can't see it. And no, what in the world? How am I going to show you this? Oh, there we go. Let's just turn off the big light. Oh, and it still went back to wheat. Just do it in the dark, huh? Yes. Can you see that a little bit now? I mean, other than working in a dark room. Anyways, let's get back to this. So, Natalie had a square card, and then she laid her sentiment, which we're going to cut out with the stitch rectangle dies, right across the center. But because I'm using just our standard size card base, we're going to cut our sentiment out, or our greeting, with the stitch rectangle, but put it on the bottom of the card. Okay? So let me take this off. See, if I had this on the white base, we wouldn't be able to see anything at all. I wonder if it's the other window that's being a problem. Although the white on white is partly what caught my attention, I guess. I don't know. I think our first order of business will be to get the snowflakes adhered to the little squares. Okay, so now if you hear a big crash, it's because I've fallen in a dark room and broken my neck. Okay, better. Not that I can see what I'm doing now at all, but it shows up on the camera a little bit better. Kind of weird. All right, so let's get our snowflakes stuck to the little squares. I guess I have seen other demonstrators where they're, when they are recording or filming, they have their blinds all closed. Come on, glue. I don't know that I'm going to be able to work in the total dark though. so that was Saturday that we had the kids, the grandkids, grandpups. And then yesterday, I had, I think this was probably my last event that had been postponed, rescheduled, or whatever from the quarantine. So I got to meet several of my friends yesterday, some of whom I haven't seen since, or if I did, it was very briefly, since we started to limit activities. Was that politically correct? Anyway, I got to see some of them yesterday. Then we went to a fundraiser in the afternoon, and by the time it was done and I got home and finished dinner for hubby and myself, and we took care of the dogs and made sure everybody was all settled, because last night was the premiere of Yellowstone. I don't know if anybody out there watches Yellowstone with Kevin Costner and team. But we are fans, and we've watched it since it came out, so we were pretty excited last night to, I don't know, I think it probably was as much fun as Who Shot JR, you know, for any of you folks who are old enough to remember that cliffhanger. Anybody who's younger probably doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about. But this one was a little longer, you know, because of the pandemic, and they didn't get to start filming again right away. So everybody's just been kind of on the edge of their seat waiting to see who was going to make it into season 4. And it was a 2-hour premiere last night. I gotta say, which about an hour of it was commercials. Not even great commercials. That was a little disappointing. But, yeah, so I think we were in the middle of that when I realized I hadn't sent out the reminder for today's video. Well, I'll just go on at 10, and hopefully my friends who normally watch me will be there. And most of my views are on replays anyways. So I didn't really think that anybody was going to have a heart attack if they didn't see me this morning. I do have to ask, if you are a viewer and you like the videos that I share with you, I would be very grateful if you were to like or comment or share or anything, either on Facebook and my videos on YouTube as well, so that Facebook doesn't think that I'm just sitting here making these for fun for myself. No, it does help my videos get a little more attention when they have interaction. So even if you have to dislike it, I guess, hoping you don't. Alright, so once we have these glued down here, then the next little decision will be, do I want to pop these squares up on the front of my card or glue them flat onto the panel? Oops, put some glue on the black paper. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, I cut an extra one because we were die cutting. I was going to say, I think I have an extra set here. I do. That's okay. Comes in handy if you mess one up. So we'll just line these up, trying to keep them with an even border around that front panel. See, my hands are sticky now because I wiped that glue top off. So I am going to have to use my tweezers a little bit, I think. So I can... Okay, now... I think I'm going to do it on the Highland Heather. And I think I'm going to pop them up. All right. So what if, to keep them straight, let's just use my T-ruler. Flip it upside down. Yep. Since I'm working in the dark here, I can't tell. My paper's not flat on here because I have 2 layers of black. Oh, the troubles of trying to do a video. And then each one of these snowflakes is going to be just a little bit different, which I think makes it so cool. Now, as I said, because of the way we blended them, I don't think this ruler is going to help. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, it's making me too far out of frame. My finger. Alright, get those stuck on here. I think I have to move everything up a little bit so I have room for my greeting. This is going to be the hardest part, I think. We'll be getting everything lined up nice. And then, oops. Yes, moving it up is going to help. And then this week, I don't think I have a whole lot going on this week. Which, well, until onstage starts Thursday. Have folks come on Wednesday to do Christmas cards. Thursday we'll start onstage. And that'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Finishes up. And they always have really nice entertainment for us as well. And then I mentioned prizes. Yeah, we get prizes throughout the event. Okay, so I wanted those on there because I need to see if I have enough room for my greeting, where I'm going to put it. And let's do this in, I think, Highland Heather. Well, maybe. Sometimes Gorgeous Grape comes out prettier for font. It's just a little bit darker. How about Snowflake Wishes for a Merry Christmas? Since we have snowflakes all over the front of the card. This is, yeah, I always keep my extra pieces in here when I cut stuff out and don't use them. Like that extra purple snowflake will go in here too. This is the one die. You know, if you know me, you know that I like to take the dies from different stamp sets and cut out a sample so I know what it's going to look like. You know, so I know what it's going to do. And then when I go to make my cards, I can always take that sample die and lay it on the front of my card to see, you know, like, is this going to do what I want it to? Do I want to put a map behind it? Do I want it to go portrait or landscape? You know, so I like to have my little samples, and I just keep them in here so I don't lose them. And then if I have any extra bits, I leave those in here as well. They've saved me occasionally. So just an idea if you have extra pieces left from your projects. I have most of my blocks in use again. Too low. There's too low. Oh. So am I not transmitting here? Goodness. There's nothing else running. And my phone looks like I am still a little bit I get these alerts that come up when I'm doing this stuff sometimes. I'm like, are you even able to see what I'm doing? Is this just like completely a waste? Okay, so I'm going to do this once in Highland Heather and once in Gorgeous Grape to decide which color I want to use on the front of my card. And I hope Natalie doesn't disapprove of the design changes I've made for this. It doesn't offend her. I'm just trying to make it fit my 4¼ by 5½ inch card base. Okay. I'm gonna put my cut and emboss machine up there again, and I don't want to mess up my snowflakes. Oh, there's all that white paper I had ready for scraps. See, that lighting messed me all up. So, which one? Is that even going to fit, or do I need the next larger rectangle? I might have picked a greeting that was too large for that rectangle die. That's okay, because the stitched rectangle dies have a lot to pick from. There are a lot of dies. I didn't want it to take up the whole bottom of my card though, so hopefully this is going to work, and that might be why her greeting went right across the front. May not fit on the bottom. Okay, that lined up. Ooh, I should have put that in there a little bit crooked so it didn't cut so hard. Heather or Gorgeous Grape. And when I say putting it in there a little crooked, what I meant is once I have the die lined up across my greeting, and make sure it's straight. If we put this through the die cutting machine at a little bit of an angle, it goes through much smoother. You don't get those great big planks. Rather than trying to get it over the straight edge of the die. Let's get this out of the way and put our card together. This is going to take up a little bit more room. Ooh, I didn't put my lid on my glue. Jeez, no wonder it dries up, right? Oh, darn it. I didn't want to make a square card because I don't have square envelopes. You know, I know we could make a square envelope, but oh, this will work. They're going to fit. Yay! Yay! Thank you. Just had to make sure we have enough room on the bottom. All right. So do we want Highland Heather or I think I'm just going to keep it the same color as the snowflakes. All right, so let's start putting this on. And I apologize, this is just really so hard to see the white on white. I'm amazed. Amazed that I can't get it to show up better. See, I have a lot of scrappy dimensional pieces in here to use up. Get them out of my little box. I've been saving these. Oh, and I can't reach them. Too short. My box is starting to overflow. I've also been unpacking some, oh, there they are, some old kits that weren't used, and I always had dimensionals and stuff in there for folks to use, so those are in here as well. We'll get this put on there first, and then I think it'll be easier to line up the squares. I know I'm horrible. I get them all on there and then I move them, right? Terrible, terrible. Okay. Get this centered on the bottom, as close to the bottom of the panel as we can. And then I think we'll start in the middle and work our way up, and then it'll be easier to space our end rows. Make them even. Probably should be putting 2 on these, huh? Just to give them a little bit more stability on our embossed panel. I hope everybody knows to save your little end pieces when you finish a sheet of dimensionals, because they also come in really handy when you need just a teeny tiny little piece, like to put under that deer's leg, or you know, under that little penguin's beak or something. Those pieces are perfect for that. So don't throw your little end pieces away from Stampin' Dimensionals. But you got to use them too, or you get a whole box full. Now I'm not really going to press this down in place until I'm sure I have this spaced where I want them to be. Because as long as I don't press them, there's a chance I could still move it around. Oh, see, don't do that yet. I didn't want you to stick yet. Yeah, this one's going to have to go down a little bit closer. Hey, that's even kind of pretty, huh? Having some dimensionalized and some flat on the card base. Oh, the things that we can do, huh? So, does anybody out there watch Yellowstone? Who's your favorite character? I mean, it's a pretty rough show. You know, there's a lot of violence, a lot of everything, actually. So my husband said last night when we were watching, it's like, they drink a lot. Yes, they do. They shoot a lot, they drink a lot. Too far to the right on everything. They swear a lot. Can't do it that way. My snowflakes have an up and down. Goodness, this is almost as fidgety as my stitching that I'm doing downstairs that I said I was able to work on Saturday when the dogs were here. I'm doing a penny rug. It's not really a rug though. I mean, after everything that's put into it. One lady that I had talked to about putting it together, she is someone who knows a lot about making wool pennies and stuff, and she was the one who said, you know, you gotta, it's not really going to be a rug, is it? And I said, well, I thought about it, and she said, after all the work you're going to put into it, you might rethink it and make it into like a bed topper or a table runner, or, you know, for on the back of your couch or whatever. And I get what she's saying, because I'm hand sewing all these little pennies onto my backing right now. And it was kind of like this, setting up my design to make sure that everything was even. Very fidgety. Fun! I like it. But it did take time. It's not something that you're going to do in Not even in an afternoon. When I get done with that one, I did order off of Etsy, I ordered another little applique kit out of wool. So I'll be able to get started on that one of these days soon, because like I don't have enough projects already started and in the works, right? Is it just me, or do other people have like a ton of things that they're working on at the same time? Because sometimes I think it's just me, in that I get, now again, here I'm using liquid glue because this is an embossed panel and I want my glue to get into all those little nooks and crannies. I don't need a lot. Just like when we're blending, when we're using the blending brushes, it doesn't take a lot of ink. It doesn't take a lot of glue. You know, so it's not like you have to smush your brushes into the ink really hard. You can do a lot of it very gently, and then save your, it just saves on your supplies so that you're not wasting it. Here now you can actually see, I have no idea what I'm going to do about this lighting. I might have to move my camera around now, although I know that the light will change outside every week here for a while. And then I did pull out some rhinestones. I didn't know if I wanted to put like a rhinestone in the center of each one of those little snowflakes or not. Or do I just want to keep it simple like that? But then a little bling never really hurt anybody, did it? Let's see. These are the small ones. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's a good guess. That's a... Slid right off my acetate there. Come here. So lots for you to contemplate this week. Like, do I want to earn some discounts and free products by becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, which does not mean that you have to do videos or have parties or do anything like that. If you are a stamper and you are buying your product anyway, this might be something that you would be very interested in. Christmas cards workshop. Are you in need of making some Christmas cards? Again, go to my webpage and you can check out the details there. I like that with the rhinestones. Today's card. Do you want to pop the snowflakes up or lie them down flat? Yeah, so that came out pretty. Thanks, Natalie. I love it. I know it's not quite the same as yours, but I love putting the snowflakes on the squares. So pretty. It'd also be pretty. You know what I should have done? I should have gotten some of my Highland Heather ribbon and laid it underneath the Snowflake Wishes. Maybe not. Maybe that's just enough. Maybe I don't want to add too much more, because then it could start looking cluttery. But can you see the pretty shading on here of the blues and purples? I don't think you can on this. I will take a picture though and add it to my post so that might be able to show those colors off a little bit better. So stay in touch. You know, have a great week. If I have the chance, I'm going to do a video Friday on my YouTube channel, depending on how much I already have prepped for are on stage because I need to get all those papers cut. And I also need to get all the papers cut for Wednesday's group that's coming. So have a great week, everybody. If I don't get to talk to you on Friday, I will be here next Monday with another card. So have a wonderful week. Thanks. Bye.